In this week's materials, you'll see a file called password_hash. And I'd like to go over this real quick because there are some instances of code out there that are doing it a little bit differently because it's a little bit older. What this is a modern way of encrypting something properly, and it's available in more modern versions of PHP. So let's say we had a $pass, and that equals some password that someone has. Now, this would ordinarily be in a database, right? DB. What I'm saying is that a lot of times people would do MD5 or a SHA-1, something like that. So if we run this right now, you'll see how it says 9C42. The thing about MD5 is it's always the same. It's always the same, always the same. Okay? And you'll see some people will try a SHA-1 as their type of encryption. And we run that, and we see F8377. You see it's always the same, always the same. Okay? Now, let's say we run the password hash function from PHP, and that's the variable, and this is the password default. Well, instead of being the same thing every time, the hash is going to be different. And watch this. If I do this, you see how it's, we'll see that, look at the end, YMYEM. Let's run it again. Now it's different. It's LRKOM. So this is a different type of hashing or encryption than what are in previous, actually, what was in your textbook if you took WebD 153 and 167, 166, all of those. Usually they use MD5 in the encryption, so it's a little bit antiquated. So I'm showing this to you because you can update your code if it's in GitHub so that employers can see it. So this right here is another function in PHP which says, hey, if something is password verified, then we're good. So right now, let's say the user entered hash, okay? Let's say this is the password, and we're verifying password and hash. You see it says match. That's because password verify will verify whatever got entered with the hash. The thing is that pass is the one being hashed. So let's say we did something like some password, like this, okay? And I'll add an else here. Echo no match. Remember, this would be used with a database, so usually we'd have our encrypted password in a database. And if you recall, the most important thing about this is to never keep an unencrypted password inside your database. So now I run this, and I get a match, but if I type in something like this, and we validate, we get no match. So it's important to understand this and make sure all your code is updated to the most modern techniques, especially when it comes to encryption.